guys, it's your boy Ahmad, just as I am Candle Co. I couldn't really sleep, so to me, what are the better ways than to make some candles? I got a couple scents that I think I want to do today, so without further ado, I'll go ahead and get into them. Let's do it. Alright guys, so the first thing we're going to make today is clean cotton. I'm going to keep it real simple. I'm only going to do 2 of them. So, first thing, we got our supply. We got our jars, our wicks, wick holders, wick stickers. I have my wax, coconut apricot wax. I use this is from Makesy. Pretty much all my supplies are Makesy. The wick stickers from Amazon. Everything else is from Makesy. I have my scale, and I have my wax melter right here. So first thing we're gonna do as always is we're gonna measure out our wax. So I'm doing 2 jars today of clean cotton. That's what I'm gonna do. This was a specific request by somebody, so that's what we're making. And so first things first, I always go ahead and measure out my wax. So they're 2 12-ounce jars, so you never want to fill it all the way up, maybe about 3/4. So I'm gonna do 11 ounces of wax per jar. So that's 22 ounces. I got 2 jars. 11 times 22, or 11 plus 11 is 22 ounces. So with that, I'm also gonna do 2 ounces, 2.2 ounces of fragrance. The reason why it's 2.2 ounces of fragrance because I'm doing a 10% fragrance load. So for simple math, I have my 2 11-ounce jars. 11 and 11 is 22. 22 times 10% of 0.10 will be 2.2 ounces. So I'll be doing 2.2 ounces of this, and then I'll be doing my 22 ounces of wax, okay? So let me go ahead and measure out my wax first, and let's get into it. All right, so unfortunately I didn't have no gloves today. I ran out of gloves, so I washed my hands. I'm gonna just free ball it today. 16 ounces, 18 ounces, 19 ounces, almost 20 ounces. I need about 2 more ounces. One more time. All right, it's like 22.5. That's cool. I'm not gonna trip too much about that. So now I just set it to melt. My wax melter right now is on, doesn't really matter. It's on like 180, 190. Just so it melt. My wax melter goes all the way up all to 300 and something. Obviously, I don't need all that. I got this wax melter off of Amazon, maybe when I first started. I think it's like 60 bucks, 70 bucks. But I love this wax melter. Especially if you're not doing a lot of candles, that helps a lot because you don't need that much. You know what I mean? So I love this wax melter. I've been using it even more so than the other wax melter I have just because it burns down quickly. But like I said, that's from Amazon. If you want, I probably can drop that link in the description as well as access to all my supplies. So the next step now is I'll go ahead and, while I'm waiting for that, I'll go ahead and measure out my scent. So let me get my measuring cup. So like I said, for simple math, I'm doing 2 jars, 11 ounces a piece. But they're 12-ounce jars, but you don't want to fill it all the way to the top. So I usually do 3/4, which is like an ounce below. So 11 ounces. So I'm gonna do 11 ounces per jar, it's 22 ounces. So because I'm doing a 10% fragrance load, most candles, some go from 6% to 12%, but most candles, from what I know, go to like 8% to 12%. Sometimes when you use the max fragrance load, it could burn out all the scent, and then it could be more sooty. So I try not to do like a max fragrance load, but I'm still, testing to kind of find a sweet spot. It depends on the scent that I use, depends on the wick that I use, a lot of these different factors. But today I feel like 10% is gonna be a good, it's a good mix where you can get a good scent throw, and all scent throw means is like good smell. How can it fill up a room? That's what scent throw is. Or how many rooms can it fill up? So I feel like 10% is gonna give me a good scent throw with what I wanna do, and I don't have to overdo it or do the max load. Just because you do a max load doesn't always mean that it's gonna be better or burn better for your candle, in my opinion. It just means that you might burn more scent, it might not gel as well to wax. It's just a lot of different things. So anyways, we're gonna do the 10%. That's what we're gonna do. So it's gonna be 2.2 ounces. So I'm gonna tear or reset my scale so that way it factors in my jar or my measuring cup. And then now I'm just gonna pour it. Like, so I'm doing clean cotton. This is from Candle Science. I can drop the link to that in the bio as well. All below. All right, so I got 2.25. That's fine. I'll go with that too. So I'll set that to the side. So once the wax melt, I can do that. So the next thing, and you can do this in no particular order, I'm gonna clean my jars. I could have cleaned my jars first. I could have whatever. But while that's melting, I'm just gonna go ahead and clean my jars down. Usually I use like an alcohol-based solution. I don't think I have any. So I'm just gonna wipe them down really well, and then we'll go from there. Cause I don't want all that stuff to get into my wax and in my candle. Nobody wants, this stuff comes straight from the warehouse. So sometimes it just has, a little dirt, a little debris in it. So I'm gonna go ahead and wipe these off, and we'll be right back. All right, so I cleaned both my jars. So all I do now is I just have to wick them. So I get both of my wicks. This is the ultimate wood wick from Makesy's. So I can lock that in too, 0.02. This is supposed to be pretty good for the kind of wax that I use, the coconut apricot wax. So we're gonna see. We're gonna test them today and see. Got it from Makesy's. Just sit them on here. I don't have a wick centerer, so I kind of just eyeball it the best way I can. The wick centerers I have, they weren't really that good, so I gotta get some more. But until then, you kind of just want to center it. All right, that's one. Whoops. All right. So this is two. And usually you kind of see it might be like a little dip or something in the bottom of the jar, or bottom of the vessel. You kind of put it where the little dip is at the bottom. Just kind of eyeball it the best way you can. So these are done. So now all I'm doing is I'm waiting for my wax to melt. I'm stirring my scent and then turn it down so I don't heat it up too much. And then we'll be ready to go. So let's wait, let's get into it. All right, so the wax is melted down. So what I want to do is I don't want to burn out my wax. Burn out my scent. So I turn it down a little bit, just a little bit above, melting to keep it hot before I stir my scent in. Because if I turn it up and I put my scent in there, my scent is just gonna burn out. It's just gonna burn out the wax. So I turn it down a little bit, wait for it to get cool. All right. Still a little hot. I'm gonna give it a second. All right, so now what I'm gonna do is now I'm just gonna stir it in for about 3 minutes, and then we'll go from there. It actually smells pretty good. It's like clean cotton, so it's a clean scent. Almost like a laundry day kind of scent. All right, so the scent is stirred in. So now all I gotta do is just pour it and let them set. They'll probably take about an hour to kind of, solidify a little bit. And then usually when you do candles, you usually do like 2 weeks to let them, get together, let the scent get in there and different things like that. You usually don't want to burn them before that, at least in my opinion. And you can ask other candle makers as well, because that can just affect how strong the candle is or how the candle will burn, So we're finna pour these up and then we'll let them set, and that'll be it. All right, so as you can see, I filled them up. I had a little more wax because, as you noticed earlier, I did put a little more wax in there than the 22 was like 22 point. But it'll solidify some. And you see, if I would have did 12 ounces, it would have been way too much for the jar. So the 11 ounces is good. So usually what you could do is you'll wait until the candle solidifies, and then you can use the extra wax, the leftover wax, to kind of put on top. But for me, because I got another set of candles that I'm gonna do after this, I just went ahead and put them on the top, and then we'll get started to the next candle. So these right here, they're gonna be clean cotton. These won't be on the site. If somebody's interested in them, just drop it in the comment. I can make something to put on the site, but this was a specific order by somebody else. So, but yeah, that's it. Welcome to As I Am Candle Co, man. If you want any other candles, they are on the site. Till the next time, peace.